folks. Thank you very much for joining me. I am Chad with CD Shaving. And tonight's shave is going to be a little bit different. I'm doing a head shave tonight. Kind of had a topic I wanted to address. But before we do that, let's talk about the holiday of the day. Because today is National Grandparents' Day. So if you folks have your grandparents still with you, you are very fortunate. And I hope you got a chance to spend time with them today. If not, give them a call. I know it's late, but maybe they'll still be up. So anyway, before we get into the topic of tonight's shave, let's talk about the gear. I know some of you guys like to wonder about that. I am using tonight, going with the lavender shave. We're going with Cape Verde by Mickey Lee Soapworks. Kind of on Mickey Lee Soapworks kick lately. I've got the pairing aftershave. Got a sample of it pressed into my CD shaving bowl. Tonight's brush will be Natural Boar Hair Brush by Omega. For the mowing of the head, Razor Rock, German 37, Kai Blade, third use. So, in the shower, I basically just threw up a Nivea for Men skin cleansing thing. That's all I did. Nothing crazy, nothing special for tonight. So let's go ahead and warm up the brush here. Let's start loading and lathering. Loading and lathering in the CD shaving bowl. Oh, love this stuff. It's great for a night shave. Great for a... lavender is awesome for me. You know, when I first started wet shaving, I didn't really care for lavender at all. And then I ended up getting my hands on a couple of samples that I tried from different artisans. I thought, oh, this stuff is actually pretty good. So, I actually grown quite fond of the lavender stuff. And especially at night, because I'm a night shaver and I like using lavender at night. So, anyway, so, add a little bit of water to this. Tonight's topic. I have a little bit of a rant to go on. It's not reviewing a soap. I'm not reviewing a razor or any product, really. I got asked a question today. And somebody said, Chad, what do you think of this particular soap? Let's just call it Soap X. And they said, I had to wait in line, virtual line, but I had to wait in line to be able to get my chance to get it. It was a limited release, and I didn't. I wasn't able to get it, as much to my dismay, so I can, you know, I want to go on a waiting list. Do you think it's worth it? My answer to that? Bullshit. That's what I have to say to that. Bullshit with a capital B. You can quote me on that. So, here's the deal. There are tons and tons of hundreds of artisans out there that make all different scents and different varieties of certain soaps, creams, things like that. And the way I see it is, if you, as the customer, have to appease an artisan by jumping through a whole bunch of hoops to get your hands on their product, what the hell are you doing? It's shaving soap. I love this hobby just like everybody else. I mean, I've got a lot of stuff. My problem is, that I have with that is, I've seen a lot of people over the last few years bitch, moan, and complain on the Facebook pages, Reddit. I've seen a couple other things where people, well, this really sucks. I can't get my hands on this because it's being all bought out so fast. Or, you know, this artisan really sucks because they haven't made it available to everybody. They've only made it available to a select few. So my first rant and rave goes to the people. That's beautiful, isn't it? It smells awesome. Goes to the people that have that problem. They go online and they rant and rave because they didn't get hands on a soap. Really? Really? You can go to maggotrazors.com, and this is not a promotion thing. I'm not plugging them, but it's true. You can go on to maggotrazors.com and find a list under the artisans section of what? It's got to be, I honestly don't know how many, but I'm going to say if I had to count, it's got to be like 50 to 100 different artisans on there, man, that you can choose from, all of which have at least, we're going to go conservative, at least 3 different soaps that you can choose from. It's going to take you a long time to buy all of them. You know, I mean, unless you're, you know, independently wealthy, which, well, maybe there are people that are. I am not. But that'll be the day when I get stressed out over not being able to get a hold of a shaving soap. This is a hobby. It's supposed to be fun by definition. And, you know, exciting. Supposed to enjoy it. And shaving in and of itself is supposed to be enjoyable. It's supposed to be relaxing. It's your time, guys and girls. Your time to do what you need to do for you. Don't let these people fuck that up. You know, you've got people out there that are getting stressed out. I've seen it. Or they get pissed off because they missed out on a soap or they didn't get their hands on it. Why? You can go on, like I said, Maggot Razors and find some. There isn't anything on there that you're going to look at and go, I'll pass. But this one that's damn near impossible to get, I'm going to go for that. What the hell are you doing? Why would you do that? I don't get that at all. I mean, I'm all for having a soap in your personal collection that maybe is rare to you personally, meaning that, you know, maybe it's expensive, you know, or, you know, it's hard to find or whatever. And, you happen to land it and you're like, oh, that's cool. I got it. You know, I'm going to hang on to this. But to let that stress you out, man, if there's a soap out there that's pissing you off that you can't get your hands on, you may want to think about a different hobby. I mean, really, it's shaving soap. There isn't any soap out there, in my opinion, that is worth getting aggravated over. And some people may raise an eyebrow and say, well, I've never seen that. Or, well, then you're naive. Because I've seen it, and I have not been doing this as long as some other people. So I've seen it on way more than one occasion, and I laugh. I said, look at this guy. He's literally bent out of shape because he missed it, you know, he did what he had to do, or what he thought he had to do, and he missed out on an opportunity. It's not like it was a piff where, you know, somebody's giving something away and that's all they have to give away. It's, you know, an artisan made something, it's limited edition, and they can't get their hands on it. Well, fucking boo-hoo. There's plenty of other soaps to try. There's plenty of other stuff out there that's not that rare that I'm sure you don't have. I don't care who you are. You don't have everything. Between Etsy and places like Maggot Razors, you know, you're not going to have them all. Now, having said that, there's the other side of it, the artisan. I personally know a lot of artisans, as I've been in this for a little while. I know a lot of great artisans, wonderful people, smart people. But there are people out there who will make a certain shaving soap and they'll call it a limited edition. Now, I understand that Some soaps are very costly to make because they're using a certain list of ingredients that are probably in and of themselves extremely expensive. And the artisan will come right out and say, stuff is real costly. I'm not making too many of these. I'm going to do this. Or sometimes they'll say, I'm tired of doing this scent. I'm moving on to something else. Okay, fine. That's a different scent. But there are people out there, artisans, who will come on the market, make a soap, establish a customer base, and then say, just kidding, I'm going to only make this at certain times of the year. I'm only going to make so many, and you guys got to fight over it. That's nice. So you know you've established a huge customer base on your product, and now you're going to, on purpose, dial it back. Or do something and sit back and say, watch this. That pisses me off. Okay? This person today asked me, or told me that, they had to go on a waiting list for it. And I said, you did what? A what? Listen, you go on a waiting list for an organ. You go on a waiting list to adopt a child. You go on a waiting list to move to a better country. To buy shaving soap, you're out of your mind. There is no artisan out there, in my opinion, that is worth you tying up money or going on a waiting list and saying, and then seeing that this is what I'm hearing. People say, well, I was on a waiting list for X, Y, and Z, and then all of a sudden I saw it came up for release and they sold 6 of them. I was on a waiting list and I didn't get it. And I tried to get one of the 6. I missed on that too, and I'm still on this waiting list. Great. Congratulations, you're playing their game. Really? It's not worth it, guys. It's not. And the artisans that do that, why? Why? You're doing that. It's going to cause people fighting, bitching, and moaning because you can see it all over the web pages. Why would you do that? If you're not, you either be in the game, meaning you either be an artisan and make soaps or don't. Why go in and purposefully try to cause animosity and cause people to fight? Now, I'm all for a healthy competition, but Jesus Christ, to watch people get really pissed off over something like that drives me up. It aggravates me because it's not. There is not a soap or an artisan out there, in my opinion, that's worth it. You want me to jump through what and do X, Y, and Z to get your soap? I'm good, thanks. I'll find plenty of other stuff to get online, or I can even make a phone call. And I'm not referring to memberships either. So for those of you that are thinking I'm referring to somebody specific who has been known to charge to do a membership for their stuff, that's not what I'm talking about. It's one thing to pay a membership to be able to do something. That just, it makes financial sense most of the time. So, but to sit there and stress over getting a soap, which you're probably going to end up paying twice as much anyway. Another story I heard about actually this same product. Another person had told me, hey, I landed product X. And I said, oh yeah? How'd you do that? And they said, well, I wasn't able to get it on its limited release, and then I saw it up for sale on a buy, sell, and trade. I paid X, Y, and Z for it, and I said, congratulations, you paid 3 times what it's worth. Nice. And my response was, why did you do that? And they said, well, yeah, it was a little bit too much, but it was what I wanted. And I said, well, if you're happy and you got what you wanted, great. But, dude, if that's stressing you out, looking for that particular product, you got to reevaluate what you're doing. This is supposed to be, a satisfying and relaxing hobby. It's not supposed to stress you out. I mean, there's so much of it out there. There's so many soaps, and to some degree, they all work. I mean, some work better than others. I've reviewed a couple soaps that I've trashed because I didn't like them, and for me, they didn't work. Do I think that company should go out of business or people shouldn't buy from them? No, but I certainly don't think people should be waiting in line for them either. I mean, it's just, I think it really sucks when you establish a customer base and you've gotten to that point, and then you purposefully limit your soaps like that, because then you get people that end up getting all bent out of shape and pissy and upset because they can't get their hands on it. So I guess my rant is kind of two-part. Yeah, shame on some of the artisans that do that, because they're doing, I can tell you right now, they're doing it on purpose. And shame on the people that are buying it. I mean, the people that are complaining and stressing about it. And I said to them, like, you're doing it to yourself. I'm like, don't let them do that. If you don't want to have to jump through the hoops and go in the waiting list, then don't. Don't. There's plenty of other stuff to buy. I have a ton of soaps between the samples and the full tubs that I have. I didn't have to wait in line for any of those. I didn't have to sit there and refresh my computer at midnight hoping I got my hands on one of 6. No. I wouldn't have done that. Now, that I have purchased a soap before based on the label. Kind of like the way people buy wine. Some people like buy a bottle of wine just because of the label. I've done that. Would I, wait in line for that label? No. It's either available or it's not. And if it's not available to me, I will move on to something else. So, I guess the bottom line here, don't get too caught up into it. It's not meant, this is not meant to be that way. At least my opinion, it's not. It's not, for those of you that are just getting into it, you can see all the things that come out and you're like, oh, that's limited edition. I need to get my hands on it now before it goes away. No, you don't. No, you don't. It's not, it may be limited edition and it may go away and you may never see it again. It's not that special. I don't give a shit what it is. They're all using the same ingredients. They're not the same ingredients, but all the artisans have access to the same ingredients. They all have their own take on what formulas work best. And I think that most of the artisans out there work really well with the customer base, I at least in my experience. But, I have run into a few artisans here and there that they tell me, well, I'm only going to do this, and I say to them, oh, when's that coming out? I'd like to try that. Well, I'm going to release it at this date, and this is when it's going to be available, but it's only going to be available for this amount of time, and then I'm never releasing it again. And I usually go, never mind, I'm all set. To me, it's just not, I don't want to stress about getting my hands on something. Now, if you're willing to jump through those hoops and it doesn't stress you out, okay, cool, go for it. You don't get it, and you're like, yeah, whatever. I did what they asked, and I still didn't get my hands on it, and oh well, move on to something else. Fine. Some might even attribute that to playing the lottery. But I have seen time and time again people get genuinely pissed because they jump through these hoops and they don't get what they want. And like I said, my message to them is take a step back. It's shaving soap or cream or it's a brush. You know, same thing with hardware. I mean, brushes also. I've heard people, well, I've been waiting for 6 months for this brush. I'm really starting to get aggravated. And I say to them, did every other brush maker go out of business? No, but this guy or this girl really knows how to do it. I guess they've got a really good reputation. Yeah, and so do half a bunch of other ones. Go on to Etsy. There's tons of them on there. Some are better than others, but there's bound to be something out there that's equivalent to the one you're looking at. And if you're sitting there getting bent out of shape because you're waiting 6 months and you've heard nothing out of this person or this company, tell them no thank you. Move on to something else. You know, and to me, I don't see the point. I don't see the point in getting all pissed off and getting yourself all upset because you can't land a soap or a brush or a razor, you know. And to the artisans that are sitting back saying, look at this. My product just went for 3 times of what it's worth, and these guys are all bent out of shape over it. Yeah, great. Congratulations. You just created a frenzy. Good for you. You're a hero. I don't see the point in that, especially in a hobby where this is supposed to be relaxing. I just don't. For me, you know, if something comes out and they flat out tell you it's a limited release, a lot of times I stay away from those for that reason. But if it's something that I really think, for whatever reason, maybe it's the label, maybe the artisan's not going to be doing anything anymore, and they're closing up shop, yeah, I might try to grab one or two. Am I going to piss and moan, about it because I didn't get my hands on it afterwards? No. Who gives a shit? You know, nobody's product is worth that. It's just not. You know, there's tons of stuff out there, man. You know, I've been doing this for, I think I'm on 4 or 5 years now, and I've tried 100, not 100, but quite a few artisans. I haven't even put a dent in trying the different artisans that are out there. There's so many that I want to try that, I mean, something even as prominent, Captain's Choice. I haven't tried any of their stuff. I want to. I just haven't and gotten to them yet. I hear they make some really good stuff, and I will eventually. You know, but if I had my money to spend and I had the decision to make, do I want to throw my money at somebody and sit in line for 6 months, or do I want to send an email to Captain's Choice and order something right then and there and have it in a couple of days? I'm doing a couple of days. I'm not waiting 6 months for anything like that. I think the longest I've waited for something was that. And that was a whole different ball game. Because I didn't even design that. I said, make me something that you think would be related to what I do. And that's what the artisan came up with. That takes time to build. You know, and I think, and that other person, I told that person specifically to put it on the back burner. I wasn't stressed about it at all. nowhere did I get up, or no, at no time did I get up and say to myself, maybe today will be the day. Today will be the day. Nope. I let him do what he did and take his time, and when it was ready, it was ready. But if that's how I was, where I knew it was going to stress me out or I was going to wonder about it, I wouldn't have asked for it. Because it's not, it's not worth that. It's just not. I guess, like I said, I'll repeat myself, the only caveat to that would be, you not being bothered by stuff like that. And yeah, I'm all too happy to throw my money into standby mode and to wait in line. Okay, that treats you fine, then go ahead and do it. But if you're gonna jump into that and and you're on you're waiting on the edge of your seat, man, and you want it to happen and happen tomorrow or yesterday, no artisan's worth that. There are plenty of others that are more than readily available. Some will even, they'll make sure that you have a sample or whatever first. There are just people out there that'll do that, and it's not worth waiting in line if it's going to stress you out. It's not. So anyway, that's my soapbox. See what I did there? Rant and rave, and I'm going to finish up my shave here, and we'll come back with our final thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. All right, we are back. The shave has been completed. As you can see, I got the DOP status here, Dome of Perfection. Anyway, so for those of you that are interested, I finished it up with Thayer's Witch Hazel Rose Petal. And I actually put on Soap Commander Vision for the balm. Because I have not, yes, I do the aftershave after the balms. That's how I do it. The Soap Commander Vision goes really nicely with the with a lavender scent. It just, there's something about the way the Vision's got like a real peppermint smell to it, almost like a candy cane. And when you slap that with the lavender, it's a really nice combination. It works well. I love the way it smells. Actually, I let the balm sit there for a few, just kind of get soaked in. I rub a little bit on my face. If I do just a head shave, if I do a face shave, I throw some on my head. But anyway, so we're going to put on this aftershave in a few minutes here. So just to wrap it up. So basically, you know what? I think when I went to Pastor's Pharmacy in New York City, Leon there said it best when he said, enjoy your hobby. Enjoy your hobby. Don't get caught up in the bullshit. Enjoy what you do, because if you start getting stressed out over it, then it's not a hobby, it's a pain in the ass. That's what he said to me. And he's right. Enjoy it. Don't do stuff. Don't get caught up in stuff that's going to cause hate and discontent and stress. Fuck that. If you start getting into that, get into a conversation like that with somebody, just bag right out of it. Stay out of it. It's not worth it. It really isn't. I do these reviews because I like to, and it's fun for me. So anyway, that's my thoughts on it. We're going to throw a little bit of the Cape Verde Mickey Lee Soapworks Aftershave Splash. Oh, that's nice. Whew. The Soap Commander's got a touch of menthol in it too. So it kind of, for lack of a better word, mentholates the aftershave just a tad, which is even better. So if you guys ever have these two to combine, try them. It works pretty well, I think. So anyway, folks, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you guys sticking with me, and stick around and watch the videos, because within the next week we're going to be doing our giveaway. So as soon as I get a couple things set up and in order here. So any questions or comments, as usual, throw them down below. Love to hear from you, good, bad, or indifferent. And guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Get that ticker going. And if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Subscribe. Come on board. But make sure you hit the bell. That little bell up there. You want to tap that, because That's right. I just said tap that. Anyway, you want to tap the bell because you'll get a notification every time we put up a new video here at CD Shaving. So, folks, I am Chad. Thank you very much for joining me, and we'll see you guys in the next video.